Hey, what's up, guys? Aaron Wagner here on Behind the Mic. I'm going to be joined in just a few minutes by Joslyn Marie. She is a singer-songwriter in the category of what I would consider R&B and soul, um, for a lack of a better word. And I'm super excited to have her on the show as this is my third episode. And I'm really nervous because she is an artist that I have not interviewed before or even had a simple phone conversation with outside of the open mic occasions on her Instagram Live open mic show, or perhaps seen her in person at the open mics that she has performed at. Before I before I invite her onto the stream here, I just want to say thank you so much, Jocelyn, for hanging on tight on this fifth time or fifth take of the episode. I am not ashamed for that fact because this show is a work in progress, and Jocelyn has been patient enough with me. So far, it's been a pleasure to ask questions before this interview, and I'm super excited to have her on the show as I was introduced to her by an open mic that happened at the In One Ear um, at In One Ears, excuse me, local showcase that they hosted at the Heartland Cafe a number of years ago, and she plugged in a MP3 of a backtrack that she wrote, and she belted it out. And of course, started very soft and um, sharp and smooth, and then of course progressed throughout the song into a wow. She's a whole lot of woman and a whole lot of heart and soul. So I am excited to have her come right in. I'm going to go and wave to some friends here, and then I'm going to throw the mic over to Joslyn Marie. Just give me a few minutes here.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Thanks so much for your patience. I really appreciate it.
No worries at all, Aaron. It's all good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there, you know, doing what I got to do as far as working at the elementary school that I'm a custodian for, and then of course doing this behind the mic, and then doing all sorts of activities to keep me busy.
That's
So
good.
yeah, thanks. How about yourself? What have you been up to?
Just living this quarantine life, I've just been writing a lot, playing with my instruments, reading, and just trying to self-care and self-reflect as much as possible, to be quite honest with you. I have some incense going on so we can calm the mood.
All right, I love it. I might actually consider purchasing some of those. It would lighten the mood, of course, in my
Yeah.
house, in my room.
No worries, man. I totally get it. Like, interviewing is so like it's it's being vulnerable, so like it's intimidating sometimes, and I understand because like I'm awkward as a person a lot of the time, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, no worries. I don't want you to feel any type of way. Like you said, you're nervous, and I'm like, oh, don't be nervous. Like it's just we're just hanging out, Like, and I
True.
I appreciate you just wanting to ask me questions and stuff.
Oh, sure. Well, thank you. I mean, I know that it's not easy sometimes to discuss. You never know what type of questions I may ask. I might throw some ones that you didn't even think about answering, and then again, I appreciate you just kind of coming on here with an open mind. So, um, thank you so
Definitely.
much. Thank you so. I really appreciate it. And this is actually like out of all things considered. this is kind of my, I guess, community service towards the musicians out there like yourself who, whether you're doing this for work or doing this for a hobby or doing this just for your inner inner being, you know, it's important for people like us who are fans of yours or even just supporters to use our platform and pass it on to the rest of the people who follow us and our friends and family who support us, and we just want to do our part to support you guys. So I think
Sure.
I hope everybody kind of gets an inspiration from this, who's ever wanted to interview their friends or
I
a new artist that they've never, you know, had a conversation with.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. You know, it's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know how you feel about obviously like, you know, quarantine is it's hard because like some of us are being quarantined alone. But like in a
no,
sense, it's brought me closer to people because like virtually now that I have more time to be home, I have more
sure,
time to like FaceTime people, do interview stuff with people. It's pretty
sure.
chill. You know, it's somehow brought me closer to people in an odd way. So that's cool.
That's that's super cool. What kind of this is kind of off the record, but like what incense smell do you have?
Right now I
Burnt?
have yeah, I got this from Silver Room. This is black cherry, so it's very like a sweet smell.
Sweet,
Yeah.
very sweet. I,
So
I I'm not gonna lie. Please excuse me when I first thought I was like, maybe she's having a good, you know, scent of the plants.
yeah, I got that going too, honestly. I got my vape pen right here, so I'm a big
There you
advocate
go.
for that too. So
Hey, you know what? So be it.
yeah.
Well, hey, you got both things going on. That's always any way you cleanse,
Exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
right?
It's natural. I've always been a person to say like, hey, if you need to chill, like have a glass of wine, or maybe if you prefer smoking some weed, do that too. Whatever's your preference, you know?
Right. Open mind, open heart,
Yeah,
open
exactly.
open lunch.
Meditation, all of that stuff. I'm all for it, you know?
For sure, for sure. So, I will, I guess I'd like to ask if you'd like to, what would you like to start with? Um, a question or maybe sharing us your vocal cords for just a few minutes, and then we'll dive into some Q&A. Whichever you prefer. What would you like to do? I'll leave it to you to decide.
I'll sing because I'm just better at that naturally instead of like interviewing, to be quite honest. Like I said, I'm awkward, but you know, we got to make it work, right? Like with my open mic, I know people are like, you're so good at it. And I'm like, you have no idea how much anxiety I get when I'm like interviewing people. I rather just talk or sing instead of talk, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, so if that's cool with you, I'll sing a song here.
What what song are you going to be singing for us this evening to start
Um,
off?
I can do an original. It's a track. It's an original track because I don't really know how to play this on piano fully. So it's just a piano track I can sing. It's a
Okay.
song called Searching.
Oh yeah, I actually was doing a little research. I was listening to your tracks yesterday and also today while I was at work, and searching was on the list of um, random tracks that were playing on shuffle.
Mm, cool. I appreciate that. Wait,
For
by
sure.
the way, did you get a haircut?
I okay, so I'll be short. I'll be brief about this, but I actually went and bought a razor
Oh,
which was meant for face, and I
uh-huh.
was like, you know what? What the hell? I need to get rid of this for a little while. It's getting too hot. So I just decided for a couple hours, I went in the washroom and went at it.
Just sick.
So
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Very cool.
Thanks. I was told by my fiance I looked like a mental patient. Um, yeah, and then long story short, like it was the pictures I sent, and then when she saw me yesterday on like FaceTime, she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you don't need psychiatric help. It's okay. It's okay. Like you look fine."
I think you're rocking it. You're good. You know,
Thank
it's
you.
all
Thank you.
good.
I appreciate that. I'm growing
Yeah,
accustomed to it so far.
there you go. Cool. So, let's see. Hopefully you can hear this okay, because I have a horrible audio setup, but we'll try it out.
Hey,
It's not too loud?
just turn it just a little, so it doesn't overpower your voice. But I think that's perfect.
Cool. It feels like yesterday when I dared and looked in your eyes, all the feelings I dared to face. I won't deny it, baby. I tried to hide insecurities consume my head, but I'm beautiful is what she said, and I know if I was slower, you'd be standing there calling me over. Ooh, your love, I'm searching for your love. Ooh, your love, keep searching for your love. Stand up taller, feet on the ground, but don't get it twisted, baby, because I'm brown now. I see my magic flying around, and I smile because I know what I have found. Oh, how can we stop it? How can we be so true? Who's the victim? It's so easily diffused. Ooh, your love, I'm searching for your love. Ooh, your love, keep searching for your love. Ooh, your love. I'm searching for your love. Keep searching for your love. It's true. Keep searching for your love. I'm searching for your love. It's true. How can I say any other way? I'm searching for your love. Keep searching for your love. I'm searching for your love. Keep searching and searching. I'm searching for your love. Keep searching for your love. I'm searching and searching for. I'm searching for your love. Keep searching for your love. I'm searching and searching for your love.
I was like feeling the piano there. No, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
I have to ask, what was the inspiration for that song?
Yeah. The inspiration for that song was actually just like a time in life where I was just like super insecure, and I just had like a constant like darkness just like was taking over me that made me feel like I wasn't worth a lot. So I basically wrote that song for myself, just saying like, you know, searching for your love. A lot of people thought it was for like somebody else, like looking for somebody, like a guy or a girl or something. And I was just like, no,
Sure.
I'm searching for myself, you know, I'm just constantly looking just like to love myself. Because I feel like a lot of times, you know, prior to this whole COVID situation, a lot of us were just constantly working, and not really taking the time to like prioritize our health and ourselves, and just, you know, something that I definitely did a lot. So
I could see the perspective of that now that you mention it, like sort of like searching for loving loving yourself, or that sudden like self gratification,
mm-hmm.
that like your value, you know, and for yourself, like your value towards yourself, like whether you value your own well-being.
Exactly.
See that. See that.
Yeah.
I know one of the questions you were interested in answering in terms of a question you've wanted someone to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
is what is the most what made you fall in love with music?
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot that I said that already.
I was like, I'm gonna ask her that question first, and then
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna ask her questions she was planning on.
Got it. Cool. Good plan. Good plan.
I surprised a little
Okay, so music. Yeah, I fell in love with it when I was really young, actually. My mom and my dad were just always surrounded with music in the house, you know, um just playing it nonstop, uh, after work, after school, playing vinyl, like whoopsies. Okay, sorry. A
bit.
client coming
Plain
call.
vinyl.
Let's
It's all good.
playing vinyl. And so yeah, I mean, my parents were the reason why I fell in love with music. and they just played music all the time. And Tina Turner and like Bette Midler and Aretha Franklin and all those like classic Fleetwood Mac, you name it, like just a whole bunch of different genres of music. My parents were actually kind of hippies, so music was just a big part in our life and like our lifestyle. So I fell in love. Yeah, I fell in love with it at a super young age. And then my mom like realized that like I liked to sing when I was like 3 or 4 because I started singing a Tina Turner song. And she was like, oh my God, you can actually sing. So let's do stuff with your voice. And so she like,
experiment.
Yeah, exactly. So she had me like singing at every single family party, like
Of course.
people's birthdays, people's weddings. And it was just, yeah.
That's really cool. It's interesting that you mentioned that because it's like I consider it that like you mentioning something I've heard from someone else is just the natural I guess destiny of what someone is born to do. Like if you're surrounded by music and your family is supportive, because granted there are a lot of artists out there who their parents are like, oh, you want to play music? Like, right? So the fact that those artists who are supportive are supported at a young age, I feel like that's I'm lost for words in the sense that like I feel like you along with one other artist, they were exposed to music at a young age, but I feel like you along with someone else were fortunate enough to have a supportive parent at the beginning rather than building as an artist and then they come to a show and they're like, oh, wow, this person, my girl or boy was really talented, and I regret not supporting them back then.
Yeah.
So that's really fortunate you grew up with supportive parents because that's not always the most common thing.
Yeah, no, definitely, it isn't always the case, and that's why like whenever I have an opportunity, because I'm grateful that they were like extremely supportive, and that's like part of my like life goal is to be able to like create like a platform for other artists kind of similar to what you're doing, because I understand that people will have close relatives in their lives that won't support them or believe in their craft or their art, and it sucks, because that's your blood and that's your family, so you feel that they're supposed to be your number one support.
Oh, number one fan,
Yeah. And it's crazy because I learned that in a sense, and I'm not trying to call out my family, but like close family besides my parents. Like when I started performing regularly, like gigs and, shows and stuff like that, I would invite them all the time, but they would never come. And so I started realizing like, oh, okay, it's not because they're not supportive, but it's because they have their lives going on. They have their families, and it's not the same. And I understand that, but I developed a family and friend base with my open mic friends and like other creatives. And, I feel that is something that continues to grow, because it's what we all love and appreciate.
Right. You almost create your own brothers and sisters based on those who support you, like, and that have a commonality for something you love to do. So
yeah,
musicians, it makes sense for all musicians to congregate in one place or multiple places and find each other and be like, this one guy told me we're like atoms, hitting into each other, or particles hitting into one another. It's a matter of time until we run into each other and then we bounce off into a new, group of people and then another group. Like, and whether or not those atoms or those particles stay together or they bounce off one another, that's the, I guess, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
Fine.
but you know, I, the guy kind of blew my mind at the moment, so that's all I remember. Um, but he himself said, you know, when I was younger, I wish that I ran into like particles run into each other. He's like, I wish that at a young age I ran into as many people as I do now. So, you know, we live in a blessed age where we have social media and all sorts of resources that if we don't run into one another physically, we run into each other virtually.
Yeah.
So
Our new life.
but
Sorry.
oh no, go on. No, please. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, that's the new life now. It's just virtual land and just collaborating that way. So
Right. So no, that and it, to some degree, I'm seeing all these like artists thinking outside the box that they probably wouldn't have explored had they not been forced to explore.
right.
So not only, I mean, some are dealing with it better than others. Um, Me, in fact, being one that still exploring. Um, but part of being creative is also being uncomfortable and like being like forced
For
into
sure.
it. So I actually was going to ask you like how it felt to like what do you think caused certain family members to not be supportive in that moment, and kind of answered that to a degree. So I'm gonna go and ask another question on my list here.
Okay.
So what's it called? Okay, so I'm hearing this common thread of artists coping with anxiety, depression. That's been a commonality even more and more and more as we, as artists, open up the door to people coming in slowly. And so, how do you cope creatively during times of anxiety or depression?
Yeah. So like I had mentioned before, it's difficult for me to express myself through conversation, but I can admit like I've gotten better at it with time. But when I first started as a solo artist, um, I really just let my music speak for itself. So I started going to open mics. That's where we met, right? You know, we met through an open mic. Um, and that actually helped me like with my anxiety because I just started like bumping into people and like socializing and creating that sense of community with other artists. And then like I would meet up with other artists and we would have jam sessions and then we would collaborate on songs. And a lot of times when I would hang out with other musicians, I would literally like come to their house or their rehearsal space and be like, hey, what's up? And that was like the extent of our conversation because the rest of the time we would just be like sitting at the piano or like singing or like lyrically writing, and we would communicate that way. So for me, anxiety has always been a factor in my life, and it's something that I've just really tried my best to regulate through my craft, through music, you know.
Cool.
And then, of course, smoking weed helps. So,
Right? It's
yeah,
not a crutch. It's a reliever that kind of
exactly.
helps.
I mean, you don't have to tell me that. I already know because I have a medical marijuana card, you know. So I was
Right?
diagnosed to have a
See,
medical marijuana card. So
amen. Amen.
yeah, and that's really it's definitely helped me out so much with my depression. And a lot of people don't realize how much of an advocate I am for it, but I really am. Like my one song called Grow is about marijuana. Like, and people think it's again about a breakup or a love song, and I'm always like, no, it's about weed. Like
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah. So
You're that's funny. That's
mhm.
I'm gonna have to wait. Which song is it?
Grow.
Which Grow? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I think I heard it once, but I'll now have to listen to it for the lyrics just to kind of just to kind of put that mindset in my head as I'm listening to the song,
Yeah.
and whether that's uh for both enjoyment out of like how funny someone could take it in the other direction,
Yeah.
and like for the value of just like a song. Um, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times too, and I'm sure other artists can relate to this, but I write songs with like double meanings, you know, like I'll be talking about maybe somebody in my life, but at the same time, I'm really talking about Mary Jane or, you know, anxiety or depression. So yeah, so with answering your question is just creating has helped me with my anxiety and my depression. Now, of course, it's not always going to help. Right now, I'm definitely having a difficult time like collaborating with other artists because I'm so used to just like physically being there with someone
Sure.
and like going off of vibes and like energy in the studio.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so like people have been reaching out to me and it sucks because like I have to tell them I can't do it right now because it's just I think I am getting into some type of a depression because I'm not able to feed off of people's energies to create right now. And it's
Being
yeah, I'm
next to each
definitely
other.
yeah. So it's a learning process and I'm trying to figure that out right now, how to adapt to what we're doing. So with this whole COVID situation.
Yeah, I'm with you. I my it's it well goes to the same extent of like when people are in different states. It's like I have two really close friends. Well, one I consider like a brother, and he's all the way in California, and he was supposed to come back. But due to the shutdown, like nobody's really allowed back in here, way on the other side of the country. So, we tried to do a jam session on Instagram Live, and it didn't like it was a total fuck up. Like, and it was because we were feeling it, but it was just like it just wasn't the same. Like I wanted to like and I think you might even agree with this as well, is like I think I'm hearing more and more that when we get out of this, um it's gonna be either like you're gonna jump out and give someone a giant hug and hold on to them until like a few hours from now,
Yeah.
or you're gonna be like, whoa, dude, like I
Yeah.
need to stare at you for a few minutes here. Like, we just need to connect on this level because you're just not. I think we're in a moment where we reflect on what happened, like what great moments we had,
Mm-hmm.
and hoping that those continue when we get out of this.
For sure.
But nonetheless, like doing things like this is like at least the close. Like we gotta enjoy these. However, they have, however those whatever reason causes us to come together,
Yeah.
we just harness that, live in the moment, and if we have to be on the phone for a few hours, like fuck time.
Yeah. That's
So,
good.
thank you for sharing that. I I'm, I'm, it's comforting. It's very comforting hearing it from someone who like is an artist that I see go on stage and just like belt it out, and I'm just like, she's so confident, like But then again, like those who are really confident, they struggled to get there.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm now. Do you consider music as your way of like, because you have music that you can express yourself in a way that you may not with like if like we're talking here,
Hmm.
but do you feel like doing this type of talking versus talking through music, there's a different level of confidence?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
best way.
No, for sure. I no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's definitely something that um music is my form of communication. It's the way that I express myself. And it's almost like a form of therapy, because on stage, like when you are exchanging energies with the audience or just with your bandmates and everything, it's definitely it's a form of expression, even to the point where you don't have to communicate. And that for me is like, it's just godly, it's heavenly, and it's something that I can't even express. So like I said, I'm getting better at talking and communicating because I've been truly healing, self-reflecting, and going to therapy, and just learning so much more about myself. And like I said, this whole is just really allowing me to truly figure out who I am as a person, as an artist. And it's helped me out a ton. But yeah, I prefer to just play music and sing, like that's what I go to. It's easy. Like, who doesn't? I don't know. It's just easier.
No, I hear you. I totally hear you on that. Sometimes it's easier. Like Charles Schultz from Charlie Brown, he would isolate himself in a room and draw these little cartoons that we look at as like, wow, this guy was, a little genius. No
Yeah.
pun intended. But yet he isolated himself, and this is how he communicated. But it wasn't until he passed that we actually like resonated on what he was talking about. And his family was like understood him, after these cartoons were like all these cartoon strips came out, and then that's when they really understood that man. But
Wow.
otherwise, he didn't interact with anyone. He
Huh.
just wasn't a very social being.
For sure.
So, but cartoons was his way to express himself. So that's, I don't know. I thought of that as soon as you mentioned the whole idea of communication.
For sure. Yeah, I feel that.
So let's see. I'm gonna ask you one other question, and then let's get to the music.
Okay.
Because I know that's something you feel more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. So, we went over that one. Okay. So, before we lead into where can people find you and where can people support you, I'd like to ask you, what is the most powerful thing you have witnessed, whether from you and your music or music in general, for a person? I can ask that question one more time. So what is the most powerful thing you witnessed music doing for a person? Whether that be your music or music in general.
Wow. That's a
I know
loaded
it's a big
question.
question. And my friend actually, like, I'm not, she gave me this question,
Okay.
and she was stumped by it. So it's okay if it's got to set in for a few minutes.
It's a good question, but I'm just trying to think, like, I think of like two scenarios. So you said with
Okay.
my music and then with somebody else's music.
Sure. Whichever makes it.
So I guess there's been a few times where with my music that I played the show at the Metro, like, I think it was 2 years ago now. And I played the show. It was at this like artist gallery situation that happened. I opened up for somebody, and after a performance, and I don't know if you feel this way or other artists feel this way, like with performing, I either have two moods. Like, I'm either like on cloud nine, where I'm just like, woo, I'm so happy. Like, it's like, you know, like you just spiritually took a dump, you know, like you just feel like, wow, like refreshed.
Yeah.
Or I've felt so emo where I like just put my hood up and it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody, you know, like, please let me isolate, let me be alone. I just, whatever, you know, I just want to be alone. So the night of the Metro show, after I performed, like, that was a moment for me, because I've seen so many shows at the Metro. I saw Frank Ocean, the Smashing Pumpkins,
Wow.
like so many of my favorite bands there. So like being able to play on that stage was like, wow, like it
Oh yeah, the Metro is a big deal.
Yeah. And it
Heard.
overwhelmed me, and I was just like, oh my God, nobody liked it, like right away. So insecure. I'm just like, nobody liked it, nobody cared. So I had my hood up, and I'm walking from the backstage green room into the freaking audience because I wanted to see the main performer.
Uh-huh.
And this girl who was in the audience like saw me, and she like walked up to me and she was like, hey, I just want to tell you that you did an amazing job, and your song Question just like completely made me feel like I was understood. And I just want, yeah. And she's like, and I just want you to know that every single thing that you said, it connected with me, and I cried. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. And I was just like, oh.
Right? Like that makes you like just draw a tear.
Yeah.
Inner, physically or mentally.
Exactly. And I'm over here like so insecure about my performance, just like over analyzing it, just like, oh, I sang that note wrong, or I did that wrong. It's just the nature, I think, of artists just being extremely like, we're just so vulnerable with our craft a lot of the time, you know? So I think that was just what I was thinking right away. So to have her like walk up to me right afterwards and just be like, oh my God, like, you connected and I appreciated you and you understand me. And to this day, like, that was a moment that I will cherish forever, because I feel like that was like a powerful moment, you know? Music, we connected and we didn't even know each other, but somehow we connected, you know?
Right. Like all of a sudden she's like a person that knew like you knew absolutely nothing about each other, and then all of a sudden you are like what's it called, not like a friendship, but in that moment it's like you knew each other for years. Like for years.
It's like we knew each other for years. And
yeah, just because of that.
Exactly. So I mean, that was a powerful moment for me with my music, and that's happened a few times since. And I'm so grateful, you know, and I'm becoming more open with where I come from, like which standpoint I write my music with a lot, because in the beginning I was very hesitant about it, but now I'm more vulnerable because I want like my fans or people who vibe with me, whatever, like my people, I want people and artists to be more comfortable to be able to be vulnerable, because I mean, we're all human and we're all just trying to get through this life together. I'm grateful to be able to like have chapters of my life out in music form for people to vibe with or resonate with. And, you know, a lot of people don't have that blessing. So I don't take that for granted, you know?
Don't take the support you, for granted. Do you ever feel like people don't realize how, like, so when we're thinking about essential workers, and then I'm gonna really like let you shoot out the social media and then start belting out some music. Is we talk about all these essential workers, and by all means, teachers, healthcare workers, you know, you can't express like how essential they are, and how much we lend our lives to them. But at the same time, I'm learning this more and more as a fan of music, that like musicians are essential too, in the sense that we're looking to musicians to give us a voice that we're feeling inside of loneliness. So as a musician, do you feel that musicians are underestimated as not being essential? I know that's like a true question. Like, I guess what my question, let me reformat the question.
For sure.
Do you feel that when thinking about essential workers, that musicians should be considered an essential worker?
Yes.
Not on the level of, like, I understand healthcare, like that's essential, right? But like, do you feel like as far as this pandemic that musicians are congregating together, and right now their tours are canceled,
right?
Their shows are canceled, so they're literally living on the edge, as much as restaurants and so on. So do you feel that, I don't want to, if this is too uncomfortable of a question in terms of politically, like, I understand, but like, I guess to the extent of us having to create our own foundation to support each other rather than being supported by the public or like the government, do you feel like musicians should also be considered in the funds that are distributed in the community? That they shouldn't be the last.
No, I understand the question. Definitely. I would say yes. However, because musicians and artists prior to COVID require a platform to perform to people, and it creates people to be in groups. It's kind of difficult. So
no, really, yeah.
Earlier, you know, we're living in a new age. This is a new era, you know, and I'm a big advocate for things like new chapters in life, you know, like in order for things to grow, like sometimes things have to die first, you know, like.
Oh, that's true. To really appreciate that.
And it sucks, you know, it sucks really badly, because believe me, I had gigs in like different states this year, and I was booked for a few festivals this year, and this is going to be the year that I really wanted to perform in different cities more so, and it's not happening. However, I mean, healthcare and the essential workers, like, these are things that are necessary to live.
Oh, sure.
You know, and like music is, but the old musician lifestyle, or the old description of what a musician is going to have to just adjust a little bit, you know, like.
It's true.
And music will always live forever.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
That's a good answer. I know, I understand that completely. That is the least biased
answer.
Yeah,
So
it's a rough situation, man.
no,
You know, like
it is. And
it sucks, but I mean, here we are. We're doing
right.
what we can with what we have, and
Sure.
yeah,
Super cool how everybody's like coming together and trying to support every chance they can. So where can people support you? Do you have like a tip jar? Do you have a place that people can continue to support you, either giving money or even just like liking your stuff or checking it out on Spotify? Like what can we do that doesn't require us to go to a concert?
for sure. Yeah, I mean, well, like you had mentioned, I am hosting open mics now virtually myself, and it's on my Instagram. So you can support me by supporting other musicians, because that's just my life work. Like, I just love creating platforms for people. Feel free to follow me, Joslyn Singer, on Facebook, everywhere. Just Joslyn Singer. It's Joslyn Singer, across all platforms, everything. If you want to Venmo me, feel free. That would be great.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, all my music's online. Like, you know, everything's available that way. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
See if thank you for sharing that. Well, I'll be sure to. I mean, I've been tagging all the time when I've been posting leading up to this, so I'll continue to do that when you are doing different things like open mics and so on.
Yeah.
So just send me a message, and I'll sure to share.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So new song just came out. Right? Be Strong. I was at work yesterday having a really tough moment, and that song got me through the day. Keep trucking. So thank you so much, and
Yay.
I would love, you're welcome. I would love to hear the song Be Strong if you would be up to the request.
Oh,
And then,
yeah.
so, and by the way, the song Character, one of my favorites as well. So,
Really?
yeah, one of my favorites.
No way. That's crazy. Okay. I haven't heard that in a while. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, no pressure. No pressure.
Be Strong. Okay. Well, I already have it queued, so boom, let's do this.
All right.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sometimes the feelings of guilt comes upon you when you're feeling yourself. Well, you know that deep down inside, well, you're a queen or king, and you better know you're well. 'Cause you are beautiful and you are strong. If you fall, then you better get up. You are worthy, you gotta keep on. Don't give up on yourself, just carry on. And be strong, be strong. Sometimes those feelings of guilt will never give up. You gotta make up. 'Cause now you know deep inside, through any weather within yourself. 'Cause you are beautiful and you are strong. If you fall, then you better get up. You are worthy, you gotta keep on. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong. Cause you are beautiful and you are strong. If you fall, then you better get up. You are worthy. You gotta keep on. Don't give up on yourself. Just carry on and be strong. Be strong. And be strong. Be strong. Be strong. Thank you. Awesome.
Awesome. It's I'm. Can you notice it's getting dark outside?
Yeah, no, I totally notice.
So it's like
It's all
soothing,
good.
right?
Now you're gonna go take a nap. Oh, it's 8:18. It's time for, I don't know. My whole sleeping pattern has been completely off. So I don't know how you have been, but
Oh no, I wake up at 6:30 or 6 o'clock, with the alarm clock going off 3 times beforehand, and going to work from like 6:30 till 3 p.m. So I'm with you on your schedule. It's like I want to go to bed or should go to bed, but I don't want to go to bed, and then like I don't want to get up, but I should get up.
yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm with you. So well, I'll leave you to the choice since we have, I think, like probably close to 5 more minutes left
Okay.
here. So I'm gonna leave you to decide. Either you could decide on doing one more song, or I do have a surprise for you. So we could either share that with the public, or you can choose a song. Either way, not a fan.
A surprise? What kind
Yeah.
of surprise?
Well,
I'm all for surprises, so.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna turn the light on. So I made this drawing for you.
Oh my
Did you see it? Did you see it? Like, I know you saw the black and white one, but this is the colored version.
It's beautiful.
So for showing your or express or sharing us your vulnerability, and for showing or sharing with me and the rest of the audience your voice, I'd like to send a copy of this to you in the mail.
Yeah.
So please send me your address so I can.
Most definitely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Aaron. That is so sweet of you.
I thought it would be appropriate. So
yeah.
That's kind of my gift for coming on my show. I'm going to continue this for the rest of the time that I do this show. So
I didn't even know that you could draw, to be honest.
Oh, thanks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. If you ever need anything, let me know.
Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my surprise.
Ooh.
But I know we got like 28 seconds, so I'm going to make this quick and say thank you so much, Joslyn, for coming on the show today. Be sure to check out Be Strong on Spotify and other music platforms. And check out next Wednesday with my next special guest. Stay tuned.
Thanks for having me.